Good evening, everyone. I'm student meteorologist Kimball.
And I'm student meteorologist Reuben Weiner. It's been a little bit of a mess outside today, wouldn't you say?
Yes, it has. We saw maybe a spot of sun here and there for like most of the morning, but after that, we still hit noon. It was quite muggy outside.
It was very muggy outside, very stormy. We saw a little peek of sunshine this morning, very briefly if you had 8 a.m. classes, but due to a lingering cold front that's about to go through our area, we've developed a lot of thunderstorms. If you didn't go outside, we had heavy downpours earlier.
Yeah, it's still raining right now. We're sitting in the studio. We can hear the rain outside, so it's quite a mess. It's going to be like that for most of the night as well.
Unfortunately, it will be for most of the night. It will be into tomorrow. It should be clearing out by the weekend, and we have a lot going on in Tallahassee this weekend, right?
Yes, we do, but we got a lot more sunshine associated with that as well.
Yes, we do.
But for most of that, we're going to talk about a little more what's happening about around the nation and for most of the Southeast, because we saw a lot of severe weather coming in for most of eastern Florida and the Panhandle itself.
Yeah, we did. We saw a lot of severe weather. There's a lot of active weather. This is about that time of year where we're transitioning between the seasons, so we will see a little bit of a spike in active severe weather. Very short-lived, however.
Yes, but with a little more overview about what's happening around the Panhandle and for what's happening just in general. Let's take it over to Matt now with the overview.
All right, thank you so much, guys. Take a look what's going on behind me here because we have a mess on satellite and radar. A lot of this stormy weather that we've been seeing all day today really came from all of the tornado and tornadic outbreak that we saw over the yesterday that devastated portions of Oklahoma. And now that storm system has since moved down here with a lot less energy, but still rain nonetheless. So the radar showing just a mass of rain over our area right now. But current temperatures around the region, you can really see the dividing line where that cold front is actually sitting. Currently 67 in Tallahassee. As we move down the state, it warms up quite a bit. The eastern coast of Florida here is just a little bit cooler thanks to some rain showers and some convergence in that area. But currently around the region, 67 degrees. Humidity, though, look at that humidity level. The frizz factor is at a 10 right now. So keep the frizzy hair days. You might have a bit of a bad one, but let's look at those weather headlines real quick here because the rain and the storms are going to continue over the next few hours, clearing by the evening, and a beautiful weekend is in store for the Tallahassee area. But Jay, Reuben, what else do you have to tell us about the weather?
Well, I can certainly tell you one thing, Matt. I can tell you that it's certainly pollen season.
Yes, thankfully, I'm not allergic to pollen. I'm so happy because Tallahassee gets pollinated all the time.
Yes, it's a lot more severe in the southeast than it is in other regions, as the southeast tends to warm up a lot faster than other regions of the United States.
Yes, but because of the severe winter that we had this past winter, a lot more of the algae got condensed and not as much as we've seen in the past.
Yes, as long as those temperatures stay a lot cooler, the bees, wasps, hornets, yellow jackets, they will not go out, pollinate. Those flowers will not bloom, which means the pollen will stay low. But however...
Yeah, but when that sun comes around and spring does really start making its way in the April and May, you're going to see a lot more pollination. You're going to see a lot more algae start to rear its head. So be prepared to be some sneezing and coughing. Make sure you have the algae meds on standby.
Yes, make sure to have everything ready. Make sure to always be prepared. And now we're going to send it out to Kate at the wall.
Thanks, guys. And yeah, current temperatures right now, we haven't dropped down too much, but we are a bit cooler than what we saw earlier today from that rain that we're seeing. 67 right now in Tallahassee, 68 in Bradenbridge, 66 in Thomasville. So all around the area, we are seeing those 60 degrees. Although we are a little bit warmer down in Apalachicola, 70 degrees. Not that much of a difference, though, from what we are seeing. But we're seeing all this rain on that satellite and radar, and this is from that cold front that's coming through, which is bringing all that rain in some areas. We're seeing heavy rain and severe rain for us in other areas, and that's moving through into tonight and to tomorrow. And for Futurecast, we're going to see some rain for tonight, but as we go into tonight and tomorrow, that rain's going to slowly push out and start affecting other portions of Florida for us. But as we look for tonight's forecast, 63 degrees, not too much of a temperature change from what we're seeing right now, only dropping down a few more degrees, 63. We're going to see that rain, though, still, and the winds will shift, which is we won't see as severe storms as we expected that we would see. For tomorrow, though, again, 69, so we're only warming up a little bit from tonight, but we're going to see that rain move out, and we will see the sun that's going to return into tomorrow evening, which is good because tomorrow we do have a baseball game against Virginia Tech at 6 o'clock. So if you do want to head out to see that game, the sun will be coming out and it'll be 68 degrees. So it'll be nice, be a pretty good temperature for that game. Do bring maybe a light sweater if you are affected by a little bit of a wind. 7-day forecast though, we're going to see really nice temperatures though for this weekend after that front comes through. 66, 69, a little bit cooler than what we have seen, but that sun's going to be out and really nice. So if you do want to go out for that springtime Tallahassee, it's going to be really great temperature for that. And as we move into the week though, for next week, we're going to slowly climb up into the 80s, and that's going to be really nice. And we won't be seeing any threat of severe weather or heavy rain into the next week, which will be really nice, so we can get outdoors and enjoy that sunshine before summer. I'm going to send this off to Reuben.
Thank you, Kate. Yeah, it's going to be very nice this weekend, but beforehand, we see right now on the southeast satellite and radar, we had a huge swath of thunderstorms develop, kind of a summer-like pattern that we would normally see in June or July. We saw warm temperatures yesterday and this whole week, and today we saw those temperatures mild out a little bit just because we have a lingering cold front around the southeast, which is causing all of this cloud cover. So we had a few swaths of thunderstorms pass through earlier today, and that condition will continue through the next day or two. Currently, most of the southeast, with a couple of lucky spots, we're under cloud cover. It's about 67 right now in Tallahassee, 75 up in Savannah, 72 up in Atlanta. So it's very mild around the southeast, with the exception of Tupelo, Little Rock, Shreveport. They're sitting in the lower to mid-50s right now, also under cloud cover. The reason they're sitting under that, okay, so today's high temperatures for the area, 73 degrees in Tallahassee. It was also mild, a couple degrees below average for most of us, but around typical March, late March, early April, with 86 in Orlando, 80 in Savannah, 69 all the way out in Little Rock. So very mild around the southeast, very cloudy, a lot of storms. But here's the big story, that's 24-hour temperature change for the southeast. We saw this cold front, it hasn't been as strong as other ones that we have seen in the past. We have seen Tallahassee drop by 30 degrees in a 24-hour temperature change, but we've dropped 13 degrees since yesterday where we reached the 80s. We've seen a 2-degree rise actually in Atlanta, but the big story here, it's dropped 20 degrees in Tupelo, 24 degrees in Little Rock, and 25 degrees in Shreveport. So that cold front's really changing the game for some of those cities up to our northwest. Looking at our future cast now, we see the whole southeast is covered with clouds, spotty thunderstorms. It'll continue into tonight and into tomorrow morning. Those clouds it shows that it will dissipate, but I'm anticipating there'll be a few more clouds lingering around from that cold front. It's taking its sweet time moving through our area. It'll be bringing those cool temperatures with it. It won't cool down too much, but it will just be about 5 to 6 degrees below average. So looking further into your weekend, we can see that eventually that cold front will clear out. It'll be a beautiful Saturday for springtime Tallahassee. Looking at tonight's forecast, 62 in Tallahassee, 69 in Orlando. It'll be relatively mild from the Carolinas down through Florida. And for the same story for tomorrow. So now we're going to send it back to the desk.
Another lovely forecast there, Reuben.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little more about weather history. Back in Chicago, Illinois in 1930, they had a 2-day snowfall from 25th to 26th. They had about 19.2 inches of snow. It was the greatest until January in 1967.
Also in Dumont, South Dakota, back in 1950 through the 26th through the 28th of March, they had a total of 60 inches of snowfall. That's the greatest amount of snowfall in that state's history.
But in Ellicott, Alaska, back in 1954, they had minus 69 degrees.
Wow.
Yes, the lowest ever in March and for the 50th state. So it was quite a cold day for Alaska, hence why I would probably never go there. But, for vacation every now and again, I might go there.
You want to go there for the summertime, never the wintertime.
No, never. I would not. But a little more about what's happening around Nashville. Let's take it over to Zap, who's going to zip right in.
Those current temperatures across the region, we don't want to dip right into Minneapolis. 34 degrees, 44 in Detroit, 52 in Boston. But look at this temperature divide between Boston and D.C., the 70s. In fact, D.C. is warmer than us here in Tallahassee at 67. That swath of a cold front sweeping through the eastern half of the country. In fact, starting to sweep through the peninsula of Florida right now. Satellite and radar is going to show you that, with the bulk of the moisture starting to finally move towards the eastern half. It's actually splitting into two systems. You have your northern system, which brought quite a lot of severe and strong storms up towards the Ohio River Valley. And then also moving down south, you've got that Gulf moisture, which really flared up what we saw earlier today and are still going to continue to see. New Orleans also seeing quite a lot of rainfall across the area. Our severe weather threat, not much anymore now that the sun's starting to set, but what this map indicates, this comes from the Storm Prediction Center out in Norman, Oklahoma. The brown is indicating a risk for thunderstorms, and the green indicating a risk for marginal severe weather activity, which basically means we have a possibility, a 5 to 10% chance of a strong or severe storm, with mainly the main threats across the entire area would be wind and hail, with the exception of the Tidewater, Virginia, right here. They have about a 2% chance of a tornado. Still not expected of a tornado. In fact, we could take a look at the Mid-Atlantic. There goes those storms. So I think the tornado risk for the Mid-Atlantic is over now that you've got those few storms moving through. But we do have this line starting to develop, especially in the middle of Pennsylvania here, starting to get a lot more of that strong winds and severe hail. Now we skipped. Yeah, let's see if we want to go back down south. There we go, the main rainmaker here. A lot of wind associated with this system. In fact, we could see the wind pop up again around 20 to 30 miles an hour with some of these storms, especially at the coastline. Maybe a few areas of small hail. That would be associated with the second batch closer to New Orleans that's going to push on towards Apalachicola and St. Mark's later tonight. We'll continue to watch that. Out west, we just have a small snow system, kind of a clipper system that is associated, bringing some snowfall down towards Pierre and Bismarck, about 1 to 2 inches across the area. That's slowly transitioning to rain. And then, again, my graphic skipped on me, but it was out west in the southwest, and, well, there's nothing much there. So we don't need to worry about that too much. Futurecast across the area. Again, that cold front's going to continue to sweep towards the eastern half of the country, begin to really push off. Lingering effects of cold temperatures going to bring up some possible snow showers towards the northeast, but besides that, we're finally clearing out. New York, you only have a little airport delay because of those severe storms. Tonight, it's going to get cold again, 17 in Minneapolis, 74 in Miami. And then tomorrow, sunnier conditions across the area, except for the southeast, which still has those lingering effects of the storm system. But it's going to be cooler before it gets better for the weekend. Matt, tell us more about the weekend in our local.
Well, our weekend's looking great, but let's take a look back at where we were today and where we've come from over the years, because look at this temperature reading right here. 28 degrees was the record low we saw in 1979. We weren't anywhere near that today with our low, but lows will start to dive down this weekend, even possibility of some upper 30s in some isolated portions. But we'll get to that in a minute. We're going to focus a little bit more on what's going on right now. Currently, we saw 73 degrees as our high temperature reading here in Tallahassee. It wasn't too warm. We didn't see the 80s, but the cloud cover certainly brought those temperatures down just a little bit. And speaking of cloud cover, look at this graphic right here. All this heavy rain moved through earlier today. This is the first batch. We've got another batch behind it, but associated with this cloud cover has all of these rainy conditions as well. So I'm going to break it down for you just a little bit to show you what's going on in our area. We have this big rain shield that we saw impacting areas all across the Gulf Coast, all the way over to Mobile, Alabama, and portions of Louisiana. We have all this Gulf moisture feeding it, the warm, moist air feeding this cooler air that we see up to the north, and this low pressure system smack in the middle of it. this will start to move on out of the way as we see that cooler air start to filter into our area. But this breaks it down just a little bit. We're going to show you a little bit more about what's happening in our area with our in-house computer model and see what they're saying as well. The rainy conditions and the cloudy conditions are sticking around. Currently here, we're starting at Thursday at 8 p.m. As we put this on into motion, the rain starts to push through once again with that second batch of moisture currently to our west. And then over the day on Friday, you really start to see it clear out really nicely towards the afternoon, gradual clearing and cooling as well towards our Friday afternoon. Tonight, however, we might see a few more sprinkles of rain, especially with that second batch closer to Louisiana right now once that pushes on into our area. So I'm calling for a 70% chance of rain, temperatures diving down into the mid-60s, lower 60s in some portions as well, a little bit warmer on the coast. And then tomorrow, cloudy once again to start with, but those clouds will start to push out of our area towards the afternoon as the cold front sweeps on through. So the cooler air is coming, probably our last blast of cool air for the season. I wouldn't rule out maybe another isolated one, but our 5-day forecast, look at how beautiful this looks. We got to get through a little rainy conditions on Friday, but Saturday, Sunday, Monday, wow, that is absolutely gorgeous. We don't see the 70s again until Monday and the 80s again until Tuesday. That's absolutely incredible. I'm really excited about this cool weather. What about you guys, Zach and Kate at the desk?
I'm really excited about the sunny conditions. I was looking at Matt. I'm sorry, guys. No, Matt's got me excited. We've got some sunnier conditions on our way, but
Yeah.
I believe we didn't have some sunnier conditions in the Midwest yesterday.
No, they actually saw some severe storms yesterday. There were tornadoes that did happen, and I do know there were one casualty, unfortunately, in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But other than that, it doesn't seem like there was any more than that, although there is lots of damage that has been done.
And a lot of damage was done because of tornadoes, correct, from last night?
That's correct.
And that storm system that we're seeing today was kind of built in from the storm system yesterday with Tulsa and all, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like severe weather season's finally here.
Yeah.
We'll be talking safety coming up in our next local, but unfortunately some bad news, sad news coming out of Oklahoma, unfortunately. But hey, it is severe weather season, so pay attention to that.
Yes. But along with all that rain that we're seeing, we're actually, as though they did see all that rain, we're seeing all that rain, and so is a lot of Florida too. But looking at these current conditions right now, 66 here in Tallahassee, 68 in Pensacola, 73 degrees in Jacksonville. So we're seeing those cooler temperatures, and that's because of all that rain that we're seeing, which is coming from that cold front. But if you look down into southern Florida, they're still seeing those 80 degrees, 83 in Miami, 82 West Palm Beach, and that's mostly because they haven't gotten that rain yet, but they will see that rain later into tonight, tomorrow, where their temperatures will cool down as well as ours. Satellite and radar, though, we can really see that cloud cover that moved in, and as we went into tonight, there's a lot of that rain system. We can see all that rain that we're seeing, and that's going to push through Florida, and that's going to bring those cooler temperatures and a lot of rain for us and other residents of Florida. Current dew point, though, they're really close to those temperatures. We're seeing 64, which is really close to that temperature that we saw, which I do believe was 63. So really just shows how much moisture is in the air, and which is true because we're raining right now. And that's again 67 Jacksonville, although down in Miami it's 70, so a little bit lower from what they see, but it's very common for South Florida to be very humid because of all the moisture that they see from the sea. Water vapor, you can see all that green, which is all that moisture from that storm that's coming through Florida. So that's going to move on into Central Florida, South Florida. So you can see how that's moving across the Gulf in us right now. Right, so looking at where we are right now, we can see that rain that pushed through this afternoon, starting around 1, 2 o'clock is when we really started seeing it. And right now it's really pushing off from us, but we're going to move on, and we can see where it is actually coming over to Jacksonville. They're seeing a little bit right now, but as we go into tonight, they're going to see a lot more of that heavier rainfall. And again, Central Florida, they're seeing a little bit of heavy rain down Vero and West Palm Beach, but that's mostly due right now to the sea breeze that's coming off, which is coming from that storm. But they'll see that rain a little bit later, and that is again for South Florida with Miami. Again, just a little bit of those scattered thunderstorms coming from that sea breeze, a little bit stronger than usual. That's because it's coming from that big system that we're seeing right now. Futurecast, though, those temperatures 70 around close to what we are seeing, although we're in the 60s, 80 degrees Miami, but we're going to push, as this pushes through, those temperatures do cool down because of that cold front that's pushing through because of all that rain, and we'll really see that. But I'm going to hand this off to Jay right now, and he's going to give us a little bit more information.
Oh, yes, I will. Coming in Tallahassee. To tonight and going into tomorrow morning, so be prepared to bring umbrellas if you have class at 8 a.m. in the morning. For currently, we are seeing Santa in Orlando, 66 in Tallahassee, 83 in Miami. So we're going to use the hot one for the map. You're going to see 82 in Key West. So quiet, sunny one for the Key West right now, but again, all our rain associated with Florida, that with the low as well, will be continuing on for Friday. So Key West, be prepared. You will get a stormy one for the next couple of hours. So our current relative humidity, you are seeing 71 for relative humidity in Orlando and 93 for Tallahassee, because we're going to take a look at the water vapor. I'll show you just a little more about that with just a second. 24-hour temperature change, you're seeing negative 14 degrees in Tallahassee. That's because of all that rain that came in, that swept through Tallahassee. You're seeing a lot more colder temperatures because of the rain as well as the cloud cover. Now, like I mentioned before, with the relative humidity, the reason why Tallahassee is in 93 because of all the rain from the low that came in through the Gulf. It's starting to sweep in through Tallahassee, so making sure it's a lot more colder and a lot more rainier for the next couple of hours. And we're going to see that with the rainfall since midnight. We saw 0.21 inches of rain since midnight, and we're going to the Futurecast. You are seeing 0.34 inches. When we go a little bit more further, I'm going to skip back for just a second. When we go into the graph that I was mentioning before, you are seeing 0.34 inches of rain for rainfall. When we go further in, you're going to see almost 0.82 inches of rain on Friday at 8 a.m. So this rain's not over yet. We're going to be the biggest one for Rainmaker because of the low sitting right over us on Friday morning. When we go into Saturday, no more rain associated with the low. It's going to be sweeping in. You see a lot more places like Orlando and Miami seeing a lot more rain because of the low and because of the front that's going to be sweeping in through on Saturday. We're going to see a lot more sunnier temperatures in the area. So again, make sure it's going to be a nice sunny weekend ahead for most of Tallahassee. We're going to see the Futurecast as well. We're going to see a front start sweeping in through most of the Panhandle and the Southeast around Friday probably around noonish. So every time we have class in the afternoon on Friday, it's going to be a lot more sunnier, hope. And going into Saturday, you're going to see a lot more of sunnier temperatures in the area as well. For tonight's forecast, you're seeing 62 in Tallahassee, 69 in Orlando, 74 in Miami. For tomorrow, you are seeing a lot more. Cloud cover, 72 in Tallahassee, 79 in Orlando, and 87 in Miami. So quite a stormy one indeed for most of Florida. But now let's take it back over to Zach and Kate, who I love because they have always sunny faces.
Sunny faces?
Sunny faces.
Wow, I have a sunny face, guys. Look at it. You have a sunny face, too.
Yes.
No, severe weather. I'm sorry. Severe weather. We were talking about that earlier in our last segment.
Not so sunny.
Not so sunny weather. And so now we're talking about severe weather safety. What could we prepare when it comes to severe weather? That is kind of the big thing that we're transitioning to earlier. Reuben was talking how we're transitioning seasons. What are some of the things we can do to prepare ourselves for severe weather, Kate?
Well, for your house, you want to make sure if there's loose items or like tree limbs that could break off, hit your house, make sure that they're gone, and you want to make sure you have an evacuation spot. So if weather does get really extreme, that you can find somewhere safe. And overall, just make sure you're staying updated and knowing really what's
going on.
Weather
radios, right?
Yes.
Weather radios. Get those at like Home Depot and Lowe's and all, but we'll have more info on that later on in the shows. But let's send it out to Reuben for our last local. Reuben, you've got a sunny face too, I think.
Well, I'd like to think I have a bit of a sunny face. I mean, good impressions and all. So looking at today's almanac, temperature-wise, although you may not have thought it because the rain made it any day but average, the temperatures were pretty much average for all day. It was 73 today at the airport, 58 was where we started out this morning, only straying about 3 degrees from our average high and a couple degrees from our average low, nowhere near these records that we saw back in the 20s and the 70s. So looking at the satellite and radar right now, as we mentioned before, we had a huge rainmaker earlier because of this lingering cold front that will be pushing its way through tomorrow and bringing us these squall lines. I wouldn't say squall lines, I guess more of a blob of storms just shoving their way through our area right now. So the current conditions right now, most of a panhandle up into South Georgia, we're seeing mostly rain. We're seeing a couple of lingering sprinkles. We're seeing sunny skies in some places. So it's a little bit of the weather seems to be a little confused right now. We're seeing mid-60s over on this side of the cold front, and we're seeing mid to upper 70s, like 77 in Gainesville, 73 in Jacksonville, 66 in Valdosta, and 66 in Tallahassee. So futurecast temperatures, we're going to stay very mild going through the night, and we're not going to go down too much. We're going to see about mid-60s waking up tomorrow morning, and we're going to see more of the same temperatures tomorrow as we did today, mid-60s to about 70 degrees. However, the real cool down comes Saturday morning when we're going to see all the blue that just took over the map. 30s for our entire area, maybe a couple 40s down toward the Gulf Coast. But it's going to be a very chilly start to our Saturday morning, an eventful Saturday at that. So tonight's forecast, it's going to be 63 degrees, heavy rain into the evening. The wind will be shifting to the southwest at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So tomorrow in Tally, 69 degrees, about a 70% chance of rain. It'll be cloudy for most of the day. Very mild like today. The sun will be returning by the evening, however, as that cold front pushes on through. And those winds will be shifting to the northwest from the southwest and there will be gusting too for about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So just in time for FSU baseball, we will be playing Virginia Tech, and the sky will be clearing. It'll be 68 degrees. So on the water, northwest at about 20 knots, it's not going to be a good day to go on the water. That's all that is to it. So the 7-day forecast, we're going to see 69 is going to be clearing out for most of the weekend, and for next week, temperatures will be rebounding not very quickly, but they will be rebounding significantly. And by next week, we'll be seeing upper 70s to upper 80s by next Thursday. So we're going to send it right back to the desk.
Thanks, Reuben. Yeah, we're going to see really nice temperatures after Friday, which is going to be really nice because there's a lot to do.
I like that 7 day.
Weekend.
I like that 7 day. Tons of sun.
Yes, Springtime Tallahassee is this weekend.
Yeah, Springtime Tallahassee.
There's also more baseball.
Yeah, more baseball. 7-day forecast also looking super nice. Springtime Tallahassee is going to be kind of chilly. But hey, FSU Weather is going to be there. Well, a few people in the North Florida chapter of the AMS and NWA. So if you want to meet people from the show, you should go. I don't know if Matt's going to be there. I may be there. Kate may be there.
I may be there.
So come say hi. There was your 7-day forecast. Hey, if you want more info, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and live stream, FSU Weather. Instagram as well, at FSU Weather.
Yeah, and so enjoy your evening, and thanks for tuning in.
What are you going to do when you get home?
I don't know.
I'm making me a sandwich. That's what I'm making me. A good sandwich. And enjoy the nice rain.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, have a great evening and stay safe. That's good shit.